Have you ever wondered why rent payments don't appear on an individual's credit bureau? It seems like a win-win situation. Both parties to a rental transaction would benefit if rent counted towards credit. And I'll explain that in a bit. So, regardless of whether you are a landlord or a tenant, you're going to want to watch this video. So, the Canadian government recently came out with this plan to make it possible for individuals to have their rent payments count towards their credit bureau. But many tenants have already been using this really cool online platform to pay rent with their credit card, and that platform also offers the ability to register rent on their credit bureau. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. The platform is called Chexy. The website is chexy.co, and I'm going to do a review of their website, which I am being paid to do, by the way. The main page of the website says, earn rewards on rent, pay rent with any major credit card, and earn up to 4% back. No landlord participation needed. The page goes on to say, turn rent into the ultimate credit card rewards. And I mean, for people who collect rewards on their credit card, this is obviously a huge line item. This is probably the biggest component of an individual's household budget. A lot of industry professionals advise tenants to spend no more than 30% of their income on rent, but most households in today's market are spending upwards of 40, 50 to 60% because Canada is in a housing crisis and rent is getting more and more expensive. And so if you are a tenant and you're spending all of that money anyway, you could benefit from using a credit card to do that and get points, credit card points in the process. This is $20, $30, $40,000 that you'd be spending a year to do that. They've provided some calculations and the ability to use their calculator to see what that would look like for your household budget and your rent. The part that I would add here before I dive into the calculator is that I want to just acknowledge the obvious risk that is if people are paying rent with their credit cards and they're not paying that balance off each month, and they're at the risk of starting to accrue high interest debt, which would lower their likelihood of being able to continue to afford that place. And so there are some risks here, and obviously this isn't financial advice, but really just giving you an idea of what this product looks like. So if I click go to calculator here, it takes me to this rewards calculator, and if I say, I think the last place that I rented, I was paying $2,400 a month, and I had an Amex. So if I was paying $2,400 a month, I would be getting $576 to $1,440 worth of annual rewards on that. And they have two credit card offers here that actually show you which one is going to give you the best cash back. So they have the Scotiabank Momentum Visa Infinite, which would have given me over $1,000 in annual rewards back, or the best points, which would be the American Express Aeroplan Reserve, which would have given me $756 to $1,800 in annual rewards, with 36,000 points earned on rent. And they currently have a promotion. As you scroll down in the calculator, you can get 3 months of processing from Chexy by signing up through their site using the Scotiabank Momentum Visa Infinite or the Scotiabank Passport Visa Infinite. So one of the interesting parts, and I mentioned this earlier on, is that it does say no landlord participation is needed. So you as a tenant can literally sign up for this today, start paying your rent with your credit card, start getting the benefits of those points, and start getting the benefits of the registration on the credit bureau. All you have to do is connect, pay rent, and earn points. They make it pretty simple. They have a couple of key features that they outline here, which I found pretty compelling, actually. So the big one is obviously you build credit when you pay your rent on time. So you automatically report rent payments to Equifax when you opt into the credit builder feature of their website. So this is literally exactly what the government was proposing doing. Obviously, this company is very well positioned to succeed if that ends up becoming policy. Another interesting piece that they've highlighted here is that it says you can split rent easily with roommates. And I think that this is really a important piece to think about, especially as the housing crisis begins to compound. More and more people are combining incomes and living together. And this is actually visible in data. According to 2021 census data from Statistics Canada, roommates are the fastest growing household type in Canada. And the need for the simplicity of splitting rent is something that's only going to become more and more common in Canada's market as we progress more and more towards a renter's economy and more towards a roommate's economy. Whether or not I think that that is a good outcome for Canada's economy. They also have the ability to bundle in home services like tenant insurance, Wi-Fi, and phone. These are things you're going to be getting anyway, so if you can benefit by either getting more points or getting a discount on those, I would chalk that up as a win. Okay, so just to wrap this up here, the government of Canada recently came out and said that they are going to make it possible for tenants to build credit with their rent payments, but this has already existed for a while through companies like Chexy that make it possible for tenants to pay rent with their credit card and build credit by paying rent. Nobody really disagreed with the policy proposal that tenants should be able to build credit with rent payments. For the tenant, this is an obvious win because they're building credit and makes it more likely for them to get a mortgage in the future or borrow money for other purposes, start a business, etc. For the landlord, you now have a tenant who has their rent payments on their credit bureau, which means that they'll experience negative ramifications on their credit bureau should they not pay rent. It would likely help to balance the outcomes, increase the likelihood of somebody paying rent while giving them a benefit in exchange for that.